Reports this week suggest that police in England and Wales have failed to solve a single burglary offence in half of neighbourhoods in the last 3 years. The figures indicate that out of 30,100 neighbourhoods, just over 48% of burglaries reported failed to be solved during 2020 to 2023, leaving many people claiming that burglary has effectively been decriminalised. A statement that I don't necessarily agree with. Decriminalising something and not being able to solve the crimes are, in my opinion, very different things. In fact, I think it's actually far worse that the offences were investigated but failed to be solved than if they were not investigated at all. Investigating the offence and not being able to find a suspect and conclude the case does not mean it's being decriminalised. It means that the police investigating are doing a piss poor job, or that criminals are becoming better at committing the offences, which I find hard to believe. Therefore, it's less about decriminalisation and more about police not being able to do the job they are paid to do. Rick Muir, director at the Police Foundation, which is Britain's so-called independent police think tank, said it's fair to say that in some parts of the country there are some crime types, in this case burglary, that have become decriminalised because there is absolutely no consequence to committing the crime. Again, if the police did their job properly and indeed turned up to the offences once reported, then there's a higher chance of a suspect being found and consequences dished out. The figures say that a neighbourhood is classed as an area containing about 1,500 people or 650 households. Some 14,505 of 30,100 neighbourhoods had no burglaries solved at all over the 3 years looked at, and out of those 7,776 had 10 or more unsolved burglaries, with the worst neighbourhoods being in Hampshire, South Yorkshire and South East London, where New Forest had 84 unsolved burglaries, Balbicar in Doncaster had 83, and Greenwich Town and Park in London had 82 unsolved. It's reported that one victim in Doncaster called police after being threatened with a crowbar during a burglary and still couldn't get police to attend. He said he called 999 and they told him to call 101 as the suspects had left the premises. He said that it took 40 minutes to get through on the 101 number and the police did not turn up for more than an hour. 30 hours later, I had still heard nothing back from them, despite ringing 3 times. If they had turned up when they should have done, they would have caught them. I'm grossly disappointed. They are just shocking. I would rate their response as 1 out of 10. When you dial 999, you expect an immediate response, especially when they're still on site threatening us with the crowbars that they had used to jemmy open the cigarette cases. They never contacted us once. There were no updates. I have absolutely no confidence in the police. I would think twice about ringing 999 because it falls on deaf ears, and you might as well take the law into your own hands because the police will not help you one iota. Not a good idea to take the law into your own hands, as you then make the criminals the victims. But these days you have to do what you have to do in order to survive. However, even with so many burglaries going unsolved, the National Police Chiefs Council have tried to mitigate the pitiful figures by claiming that burglaries on the whole are down. In fact, they claim them to be at an all-time low. Now, maybe that's because many criminals are now getting involved in sexual offences instead. Who knows? Deputy Chief Constable Alex Franklin Smith, the National Police Chiefs Council lead for burglaries, said, "We will continue to prioritise preventing these offences, targeting repeat offenders and organised crime groups and solving as many burglaries as we can. All forces are now able to fulfil the commitment made last year by police chiefs to attend all residential burglaries. Many forces have dedicated burglary teams to identify links between burglaries and find the evidence that enables offenders to be charged." Maybe you should think about these dedicated teams then, because it seems that they're sitting on their hands, even though they have nothing else to do but investigate burglaries. It wasn't long ago that Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, said that police should attend all domestic burglaries and that they should be able to achieve this with the 20,000 new plod that the police are apparently still trying to hire. Although extra police won't make a difference, by the way. The police prioritise the wrong offences, And I quote that because a lot of what the police turn up to deal with are not actually criminal offences. In fact, the Home Office should be telling police to identify what the offences are before sending police to them. For example, police get 999 calls over freedom of speech incidents, and instead of telling the caller that they can't get involved because it's not breaking the law, it's not a criminal offence, they will send multiple pod to the scene, escalate the situation, and then use breach of the peace or public order to arrest people. This not only costs the taxpayer money, but it also takes up valuable police resources and leaves genuine victims of crime without the support they expect from the police. I mean, that's at least one thing I like about America. The fact that many call handlers on 911 will tell the public they won't be turning up because it's not a police matter, and they don't care what the member of the public thinks about them for saying that. Police are not there to win hearts. They're there to do a job, and it's about time they started doing it.